How's it going, everyone? I failed to mention this in earlier videos, but I think it's even more relevant to mention it now, that the reviews for Yakuza Kiwami 3 are out, and some of the things have been said about the game that aren't leading people to be as happy with it. That the original Yakuza 3 will be getting delisted from the PlayStation Store tomorrow. So after today, Yakuza 3 as a separate listing on the PlayStation Store, as it is. It's available for $19.99. That will be getting delisted. After today, you can still add Yakuza 3 to your PlayStation library. However, you have to buy the Yakuza Complete Series bundle, which is $130. And mind you, that it doesn't work like Steam, I believe, where if you have other titles within the bundle that you get that bundle cheaper. You're effed. You're effed as far as that's concerned. Nobody's trying to pay $130 to get Yakuza 3. However, because it is available physically, you know, you will be able to play it that way, and that's probably the ideal route to go. Speaking of which, on PlayStation, if you got the disc drive with the PS5, you can get physical games, and thankfully, you can delist those. I mean, you can remove them from circulation in the market, I guess, in the sense of not printing any new copies, but you can't get rid of the copies already in circulation. And you can get Yakuza 3 as a part of the remastered collection, and it's available fairly cheap over at VGP.ca. That's Video Games Plus. We'll talk that, but more on that at the end of this video. First of all, Yakuza 3 Remastered, like I said, is getting delisted. It's listed at $19.99. Unfortunately, they are not putting it discounted. You know, it was one thing when it was announced that Yakuza 3 would be getting delisted, and I was like, okay, Kiwami 3 is coming out. I can understand why they are doing the delisting. However, you know, that is from their own selfish gain. Obviously, they want people to pay the $60 for the new version of Yakuza 3, but when you're going ahead and you're really changing the narrative and changing a lot of what happens in the game and consequential ramifications to the entire series, maybe the original should exist, alright there, buddy? And I'm not even that against narrative changes in remakes. I've talked about how, you know, Final Fantasy VII Remake, you can view it more as a sequel, but some people like to bug out over the changes and how that game, whether you view it as a sequel or remake, whatever the case may be, how the game that came out wasn't a one-to-one remake of Final Fantasy VII. Like, I've always been a fan of that. Look, the original games exist. If I want to experience the original narratives, those exist in the original game. Sure, would it be nice to have those original narratives with quality of life improvements, better visuals? Sure, I agree with you, but I'm down with remakes changing narratives. I'm down for new experiences. I'm all about that while they have some of the fundamental aspects of the original games as well. Have no problem with that whatsoever, but you have to, at that point, keep the original version still available. With Yakuza 3 shifting a lot of things, and shifting major things, I should say, the remastered should absolutely still be listed because it ties into its own world. And from what I hear now, they are going to do a new set of Yakuza games that are continuing from the end of Yakuza Kiwami 3, so it's almost like a new narrative path that we are going on, from what I can understand. I have yet to play Kiwami 3. I will be playing it, but, you know, that makes the delisting of Yakuza 3 Remastered so much more jarring than if Yakuza Kiwami 3 didn't have all of the narrative changes. And even then, I would say keep the original intact. Could you imagine if Final Fantasy VII Remake came out and Square Enix just delisted the original Final Fantasy VII, and we're talking about that being a PlayStation 1 game? Could you imagine that? I would be infuriated with that. Absolutely livid. And I think most people would, but I don't think Square Enix would ever do that, and they haven't done that. But in the case of Yakuza 3 Remastered, maybe that's not a fair comparison, given, again, FF7 was a PS1 game. You kind of have to keep the original, and they've added so much content in the remake. The remake is functionally very, very different. Maybe not to the extent of what Kiwami 3 is with Yakuza 3, but still, you get the idea, and just delisting the game, I feel like, is so lame. And I get that they've done things like this in the past. Sega, that is. When Sonic X Shadow Generations came out, they delisted Sonic Generations from Steam. It seems to be like a Sega prerogative. narrative. I don't think this is an RGG thing where RGG is like, yeah, pull the original Yakuza 3. At least I don't think so. I think this is Sega wanting to push people to buy these newer versions of games, which is so lame, which is so whack. And again, it'll be available in the form of like the Yakuza Complete Collection, but why are you now pigeonholing people into spending, you know, however much money on the Complete Collection rather than just putting the base game on sale? And you know, with how they operate, I guarantee you they're not going to be putting that Complete Collection on sale regularly. They didn't put Yakuza 3 on sale leading up to the delisting. You'll have to pay $19.99 if you want it in the library, but yeah, we'll be getting delisted tomorrow. I think with the news of Yakuza 3 and how much vitriol it's been getting, I thought I would mention that, but yeah, delist coming tomorrow. And then I should also note, there is the Yakuza Remastered Collection that is available on VGP. It's $29.99 Canadian, which in US dollars, that's only $22, and that gets you Yakuza 3, 4, and 5, and that'll very much beat out the price point that's on the PlayStation Store. In fact, let's pull up the price that's on the PlayStation Store that you would have to buy. So right now, if I actually pull up the Yakuza Complete series, I thought you had the option to buy the Remastered Collection on the PlayStation Store. That might not be the case, and you have to buy the Yakuza Complete series to get Yakuza 3, and it's $130, and I don't believe this is a case. Yeah, Sony and PlayStation Store doesn't do it where if you own the other games, you get a discount on it. And by the way, that has Yakuza 0 Director's Cut as well. Yo, it's a crap show. It's a crap show. Nobody's buying that. And the crazy thing is, right now, they've put the other Yakuza Remastered titles on sale, Yakuza 4 and 5. Oh, wait, Yakuza 3 is getting delisted. We want them to buy Kiwami 3. Don't put Yakuza 3 on sale. If you want it, pay the $19.99. Like, come on, man. This is actually one of the more crazy ones that I've seen, and outrageous. Outrageous in the sense that, again, this is why the digital landscape sometimes does worry me. It's not about, you know, I have an inherent problem with digital gaming, in the sense that I love the convenience. I love being able to download games directly. You think my obese self wants to get up and swap discs? I ain't trying to do that. However, the more we go into digital gaming, the more power we do give to the publishers, and sometimes they'll use that power in ways you didn't even think about. In the sense of this case, like, 5-10 years ago, if you were to say, oh, gaming's gonna go digital, oh, okay, a lot of people would be like, okay, would something like this really enter your brain that, oh, there are gonna be games that are listed there that they're gonna remake, and because they want you to buy the more expensive remake, they're gonna delist the original. Oh, and also, by the way, that remake is going to change the narrative aspects of the game. Like, what? That is actually insane, and even more insulting when the Yakuza Complete series is $130. The Yakuza Remastered Collection is available physically. I cannot find a listing for that on the PlayStation Store. The PlayStation Store has the Yakuza Complete series, Yakuza Kiwami, and Kiwami 2 bundle, which is Kiwami 1 and 2, and there's nothing else. There's no bundle that includes Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. I was hoping there'd be a bundle like that, maybe for like $40, $50, $60 even, but yeah, we can't have nice things. So that'll be getting officially delisted tomorrow. I would jump on that if you're interested, especially with all of the vitriol around Yakuza Kiwami 3. Again, sometimes I do think things are overstated online when it comes to narrative changes. However, this is one that I gotta play, and I'll let you guys know for myself after I beat it. And, you know, I'm more okay than most people with narrative changes. I've always been of that mindset when it comes to remakes. I kind of like new experiences, and what I said about Final Fantasy VII years ago is like, when we realize the story is gonna be drastically shifted, it's either gonna be really good or it's gonna be a train wreck, and I'm gonna be entertained either way, because also the original game is still going to exist in perpetuity. I never thought that we would live in a world where we would get remakes with narrative shifts and then the original game would get delisted. That's actually insane. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your guys' thoughts. Do you still have interest in Yakuza Kiwami 3? Is that something you're gonna play? Or based on the situation, are you gonna move away from that? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And remember, VGP does have the Remastered Collection at at $22.13. I think that's quite a good price, and that's something I would definitely look at. That does include 3, 4, and 5, by the way. The remastered releases, I should say. The original came out on PS2. But nonetheless, that'll do it for me. Your thoughts down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.